Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to take a quick look here at Solana, see what's going on, double checking a couple of key factors. We're going to draw out some new trend lines here, or more so, some closer, more legitimate Fibonacci retracement levels, kind of to see what's going on here in the most recent, 24, 48 hours since I reviewed this last. It does look like we've increased and done fairly well for ourselves, but a lot of that hinges on Bitcoin hitting that 72,500 mark. So the truth is Solana doesn't look super strong just yet, but we're going to double check a few things, make sure that we're on the right side of track. So if you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you can learn something today. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is the site, link down below. We're going to look at some liquidation levels here and kind of see where we're at. This is the 12-hour liquidation. Really not a lot going on here, minus just the more recent 180s just getting liquidated there. That's pretty standard though, of course, to have liquidation levels above and below the price action on the 12-hour. However, when we look at the larger time frame in the last 7 days, we can see some longs here at about 175 and some more recent shorts about 185 to 187. So previously, as discussed, 190 to 195 is that heavy concentration liquidation. I still feel like that will get swept. It's just a matter of how we accumulate volume in the next 24 to 48 hours, really. Because if Solana can kind of start performing better than Bitcoin, then we're going to be in a pretty good shape here. We're going to see here soon if Bitcoin starts to pull back, how does Solana do so? Does it follow suit, or is it just hold like a champion, right? Because again, we got some certain support levels we want to talk about, but the easy way to understand it here is that 175 is that lower level, and 185 is the upper level. It's pretty much, we're smack dab right in the middle of that, okay? So again, Bitcoin pulling back, makes sense for Solana to pull back, but let's see how far it can or should pull back in general. So looking at the daily time frame, let's work our way down and double check a couple things. Oh, before I forget too, congrats to our community members. This is awesome. Take a look at some of these trade results here. Nice job, Red Coke, Bitcoin. Good little long position there because we took some profits from Bitcoin here recently. JR, Cran, awesome stuff, folks. Keep with the good work. And again, that was a 54% long in the last 3 days here from Bitcoin, 67,400 to I think 72K roughly. So awesome stuff there. We have a Solana long open too, so this is relevant to that also. And discussing that too, I know we had some, a little bit of a scare here recently where the price came all the way down to 167 and some change. I think our stop loss is just below that. So it was a nice little scenario there, but we want to see if this is sustainable. So let's double check a couple things. First of all, to clarify, we're still below the 20-day SMA. We got to break above 185 to have that kind of luck. Cool thing is we break above 185. I think 190 is going to be a pretty solid continuation potential, mainly because of liquidation, but also because, again, we're right here at that 0.618 fib level. 190 is that range there. So we hit 185. I think 190 is very likely too. So again, if you have a position open with Solana, you may want to consider adjusting your stop loss higher to break even now that we are above that break even spot. Heaven forbid the price comes down and gets stopped out. We can find better opportunities later. It's better than taking a loss, okay? So maybe consider adjusting your stop loss just to be on the safe side there. I still feel okay with the position we have just because we averaged down so well. But once more, the market gives and the market takes. And we're going to see here if there is any indication this is going to continue up or down. So let's look at the daily time frame. We've maintained above 50 on the RSI. That's great. Stochastic is swinging up. Money flow index is high. And MACD is starting to plateau and recede. These are all very positive contributing factors on the daily. Okay, so again, daily is not an indication of where the price is going to go. It just kind of gives us an overall sentiment of where we're at presently. So again, not in bad shape, but not terrible either. So we're 7 days of continuation of the downside. So literally there's a lot less probability of the price going down than up at this point. Now we want to zoom out a little bit and look at this here. If we look at the volume profile, this is how much average range we have at certain price points. So we have a lot of volume at 185. And as I mentioned before, that's the resistance level, okay? Again, we look at liquidation. 185 is a good start there of upper liquidation. We did sweep a decent amount between 182 and 184. So that's nice, but there's still some left about 185 or higher. Either way you look at it, there's still a lot of volume there. And this range that we're traveling into is somewhat of a resistance. So we got a lot of resistance right here between the current price point and 185. So the truth is we just need more volume. That's really all there is to it. So let's take a look at the 4 hour and see if this tells us anything. We do have more volume. It is steadily increasing. However, we're starting to taper off here, of course, pretty aggressively now that profits are being taken from Bitcoin. Okay, so if we take a look, of course, at the overall sentiment here, we can kind of recognize that in the more recent past year, ever since just say roughly the 28th of March, we can still see a very similar profile here, right? 185 to 190 is that volume range. Okay, so again, got some resistances above us. We do have the 20 and the 200-day estimated below us. That's typically a good sign. The 200 holding so far so good. So that's not a bad thing at all. We are over 50 in the RSI, barely. So we got to hold 180 today, I think, or higher to be able to have any confidence there. We do take a look at RSI. We can see that the traditional RSI and again, money flow index, they're fairly high. They're above 50. That's the key takeaway here. Okay, even though MFI is tapering off, we can still, of course, see that we're holding that line. So it would be optimal to be able to hold 180 or higher today. We can also see stochastic is trying to swing down. Okay. Furthermore, we got MACD diverging here ever so slightly. So the simple way to understand it here is that the 4-hour time frames got some bearish qualities. But what generally happens in these situations here is when you have a descending trend like we have the one here, a lot of times you'll have a bullish back test and the price will launch off of that. And the main reason why is because we're testing a more recent high, right? So over the weekend, we saw this level at 181, rough estimate, have difficulty crossing that level. Comes back down, bounces off key level support, and now it hits up here, right? But the key takeaway here is that this range right here is a good amount of support for us based on more recent price action. Now, is that a guarantee? No, because you can see here, if you look at this, we have a similar scenario from Bitcoin. Only difference is Bitcoin took off and Solana really didn't. So again, it's showing some weakness there. So once more, just to kind of reiterate, make sure you consider adjusting your stop loss to break even. Maybe consider taking some profits while we're still in the green just to be safe. I'm not saying you got to close your position. I'm going to leave mine open, but I can say though here that I might consider adjusting my take profit targets and or stop loss just based on the way that this is, not really performing super well. Okay, Bitcoin loses this level at 71,500. We could see Solana drop fairly hard. Look at the hourly low, just double check this here. We got some positive, but also some not so greats. In other words, we got the lagging span in the price action, kind of letting us know you probably should consider taking profit. Furthermore, too, we got conversion line above the baseline, good momentum, and of course, we've got the price above the cloud. So in a perfect world, again, this I mentioned this earlier today in my Bitcoin video, there is no such thing as a perfect world in trading, specifically cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So what I'm getting at here is that ideally we close at 180 or higher. That would leave us above the cloud. The conversion line would naturally become free and clear again, and it might be a good consideration for a long position at a point. But right now, the way that things are looking, it's not super strong, especially if you compare this, this knee-jerk reaction to the downside with Bitcoin. Okay. So again, just some friendly advice there. Be careful. This coin very well could take off, but it doesn't seem like super likely that it wants to just continue higher at this point. So just kind of where we're at here for the moment. Hope I described that correctly. I'm sorry if I left you with more questions than answers, but generally speaking, when there's indecision in the markets, it's best to avoid it altogether. And since we are in a trade right now, I would say adjusting to break even would maybe be a good consideration, but it's not really ideal circumstances to take a long right now. That's just the bottom line. But once more, this bullish back test here, trending right here at support roughly about 180 to 178. It's not a bad place either, honestly. So we have some considerations to keep the position open, but honestly, it's not an optimal situation. Okay, I hope that made sense. Thanks so much for watching. CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below if you want to become part of our community and join us with our awesome trade signals. Make sure, of course, you trade Bitunix as well. Phenomenal exchange. We use them regularly. Link down below for some nice rewards if you'd consider that. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.